as Shelton set to go up against number 20, Johnson.
Lorenzo Johnson, a great leaper for Beehive.
The toss and control by Rusty Pelton. Did a great job there. Gacy with the basketball. Takes it, passes it back to Morris. Morris pulls up for the jumper inside the 3 short. Chris Shelton gets his hand on it, pulled down by Mumpower of Virginia High.
And already this game is at a fast pace. All right, number 10, Scott Jones, the point guard, comes across the timeline. Sets up the offense. Arthur Ferguson coming out. Gate City playing in what appears to be a matchup zone. They go out to Kenny Smith, number 30. Back to Jones as he is double teamed. Gets out of a nice to Lorenzo Johnson from 18. Shot ends net as Virginia High takes the lead.
Jason Hensley quickly up for Gate City, finds Rusty Pendleton. Pendleton takes it up. The bucket will not count, but Pendleton drew the foul from number 50, Jason Mumpower, and Rusty Pendleton has come out here with fire in his eyes.
Mumpower picking up his first personal in the game. Very important for Virginia High to keep its starters in the game as they have a very, very weak bench.
Pendleton shooting 2. Rusty. Eisenmark shoots, misses the first shot. Pendleton with a second opportunity coming up momentarily. The game just underway here from Virginia High. Pendleton, Eisenmark shoots. It's good.
Score now 2-1 as Virginia High, Scott Jones will bring it down. The Bearcats come down, position themselves. Gate City in a 1-3-1 zone. They pass it inside, back out to Mumpower. Johnson hits Jones. They get it to Smith. Gate City, good pressure on the inside. Shot by Freeman, no good. Mumpower over the back of Pendleton, but no call. They get it out to Scott Jones. He calls out a new play. Jones is almost double teamed. And they finally work to Mumpower. Shot over Hensley from 16. Good for Mumpower.
PJ, if you can remember the last time these two teams met, Virginia High blew out very quickly and then just lost its power in the second quarter and on into the second half. Ferguson with the basketball now for Gate City. Drives to the paint. Needs some help. Passes in for Pendleton. Pendleton puts the jumper up. Too hard. Rebounded by Mumpower.
Quickly to Jones. Jones coming down court. Lorenzo Johnson wide open. Hits the layup and the foul called on Morris. So Lorenzo Johnson can go to the line to complete the 3-point play.
Same situation as before, as we mentioned. The same thing happened at Gate City, PJ.
And already the Virginia High crowd into it.
This right here is adrenaline. These boys are so pumped up, they're just running on adrenaline right now.
Johnson at the line as he sets up. His shot is up and no good. Rebound by Shelton for Gate City.
Shelton gives to Ferguson quickly up to Hensley. Hensley will work it for Gate City. And stolen away by Virginia High.
They kick it up to Jones as a 2-on break. One break. Jones all the way himself, misses it, but Johnson puts the jam down. Lorenzo Johnson slams the rebound home. And the Virginia High bench erupts.
Gate City being very patient, though. They've been down before, 3-point play this year. It will really come into effect as Hensley slows the offense down for Gate City. Passes to Hensley. Or, excuse me, Ferguson, back to Hensley. Hensley finds Morris. Morris fakes against number 20, Johnson. Drives, shoots. Long rebounded by Ferguson. Ferguson is fouled by Mumpower. Foul number 2 on Jason Mumpower.
And both sides are getting into this game early as it's turned into an emotional contest. Score is 8-1 early. Virginia High in the lead with Arthur Ferguson for Gate City, number 12, will be at the line. A substitution early for the Bearcats. Mumpower will have to sit down with 2 early fouls. Number 22 has checked in. That's Lucky Daggs. Daggs, as we told you, returning from arthroscopic knee surgery.
Ferguson at the line shoots. The first one is no good. Gate City looks very tight right now, PJ. It's going to take them a little while to get loosened up. As Ferguson will have his second shot coming up. Devils down by 7. Shot is up, in and out, rebounded off the hands of Virginia High. No, they're going to stay off the hands of Moose Morris of Gate City.
The Devils can't convert on that situation, and Virginia High comes up the floor leading 8-1, looking to increase that lead. We have 5:47 left to play in the first period, just starting the game. Scott Jones comes across, passes the luck to Johnson. Back to Jones at the top of the circle. Looking to his right, finds Kenny Smith. Inside to number 20, Lorenzo Johnson. Shot up over Morris and Shelton. No good. Pendleton with the rebound.
Pendleton gives off to Ferguson. Ferguson carries the basketball. Gate City, Dave Mason may want to call timeout here and just settle his team down.
Gate City playing a little out of control, maybe rattled at this point. Already Lorenzo Johnson with an early slam, igniting Virginia High as they are pumped up right now. Again, Gate City staying in its 1-3-1 zone. It's good. Jones, shot from 12, no good. Ferguson with the rebound.
Gate City slows it up as Ferguson working across the timeline. Morris is being guarded by number 20, Johnson. It looks like Virginia High playing a boxing one. Morris drives, fakes, pulls up for the pass into Pendleton. Shelton comes up with the basketball, loses it to the hands of...
And Jones has it now, coming 3-on-2 break to number 22, Lucky Dag, misses the easy layup. Freeman's shot in lane is no good. Pendleton collects the rebound.
Pendleton gives to Ferguson, quickly up to Hensley. Jason Hensley pulls up for the jump shot. In and out, Gate City just cannot buy a bucket here. Pendleton comes up with a loose basketball in the paint, hook shot, good, count the bucket, and a foul.
And Gate City fans now come to life, and that foul going to be called on number 40 for Virginia High. They're going to say 30, excuse me. That is Kenny Smith picking up his first foul. Some three-team fouls on Virginia High, one on Gate City.
Pendleton at the line, Eisenmark shoots, it's good.
And the Devils cut the Bearcat lead in half, 8-4.
PJ, the Virginia High boys already look like they're winded.
They do indeed, as Gate City just now preparing to get into this ball game. Virginia High looks very tired. In the quarter to Freeman. Freeman back out to Lucky Dags. Dags back to Freeman. Shot from 17 is caught for Freeman.
Good shot there by Freeman. Hensley with the basketball now for the Blue Devils. Down by 6. 4:15 remaining first quarter. Hensley guarded closely by number 10, Jones. Morris travel with the basketball.
Gate City seems a little rattled early, but Dave Mason has confidence in his troops. Has not called a timeout yet. He wants them to play it off. Good decision by Mason, I believe.
Morris, all he has to do is hit 2 3-pointers, and the Devils right back in the contest, PJ.
Virginia High now comes out. Gate City in the 1-3-1 zone. Not shadowing anybody, but just playing good, packing down inside. Dag shot from way outside, no good. Shelton with the rebound.
Shelton up to Hensley. Hensley for Gate City, the quarterback of this offense. Passes for Pendleton, off of Pendleton's hands, out of bounds to Virginia High. Looked like Rusty was pushed from behind. No call there.
10-4 the score. 3:50 left to play in the first period. And Virginia High inbounding the ball. It will be Lorenzo Johnson inbounding to Scott Jones, the point guard for this Virginia High club. Jones has been outstanding all year. He calls out an offense for his team to set up in. Johnson is positioned at the free throw line. Smith on the near court corner. Back to Smith, being guarded by Hensley. To Jones. Jones going to drive, put the shot up over Morris. It is good from 14.
Hensley brings the basketball into Ferguson. Ferguson holds up for Morris. Gate City sails down their offense. Now Morris dribbles to the right corner, puts up the jump shot. Short, out of bounds to Gate City, as it's a very physical contest on the inside tonight.
I believe Kevin Morris, since he's being shadowed, the rest of Gate City's team is going to have to pick up the slack for him.
Morris will trigger it in for the Blue Devils. Brings it in to Hensley. Hensley over to Ferguson. Ferguson to Morris. Morris dishes in for Shelton. Shelton takes it up. Short. Rebounded by Pendleton. Pendleton back up. It will go in.
Rusty Pendleton having a game. Excellent game here early. Blue Devils are down 12-6, but Pendleton has been outstanding.
As all 6 of the Devils point at this time.
Jones comes across and passes to his left to Dags. In the corner to Freeman. Freeman is deadly from out there, so he's already shown us. Jones back looking, almost took the shot to Smith. Back to Jones, and they work it back to Dags. Inside to Lorenzo Johnson. Shot over Shelton, no good. For the rebound, Kenny Smith was over the back, but no call. And 2 more for the Bearcats.
Hensley will work it up court for Gate City. Devils down by 8. Pass comes over to Ferguson. Offense stands out of bounds to Virginia High as Gate City just being too quick in their offense.
They're going to have to settle down. They're letting the crowd and the momentum here get to them. They're going to have to settle down and play their own team as Coach Dave Mason takes the timeout.
Smart timeout there by Coach Mason. Sees that his Devils a little bit out of tempo and wants to make sure that he's going to tell them, boys, settle down, get the good, consistent shot. And let's play good defense. We'll be right back in this contest.
So far, the one thing that has really hurt Gate City, Morris has been shadowed all night and probably will be for the rest of the game by number 20, Lorenzo Johnson, perhaps the top player on Virginia High squad. That's going to probably take Morris out of most of his offense. That is where Gate City's other players have to come in and contribute. We've already seen Rusty Pendleton with an excellent effort, and we're going to have to see some more outside shooting to take the pressure off of Shelton and Pendleton on the inside.
We are at the 2:29 juncture in the first quarter. Gate City down by 8, 14-6. As Coach Dave Mason has called timeout to settle the troops down. We have seen our Devils down before, PJ. This seems like it's always a tradition this year is to see the Devils go down and then fight their way back into the contest.
And if you look, where the Blue Devils have come back the best have been some of the toughest places in Southwest Virginia to win. Castlewood, for instance, the Devils were down early, came back to win. In the Powell Valley tournament, they were down early in a couple games, and they held poise. Okay, now back to action. Tony Bellamy has checked in, and Arthur Ferguson has taken a seat on the bench. They get it up to Lorenzo Johnson. He's going to drive. Shot up over Shelton and Pendleton. No good, but a foul going to be called on one of the two Devils inside. And it's called on Chris Shelton, number 54, his first foul.
Team first.
Team first.
Team second, excuse me.
And it will be Lorenzo Johnson at the foul line, shooting two. Johnson has really become a force in Southwest Virginia. First shot up by Johnson. Too soft, kisses the front of the rim and falls away. And he'll have one more. Score 14-6 right now. Virginia High in the lead. Johnson's second shot up. This time again, no good. Rebound. Freeman collects it. Shot over Bellamy, no good. Johnson with the rebound. His layup good, but there's a tremendous amount of pushing in the middle.
Virginia High up by 10, 16-6. Hensley working against number 10, passes for Bellamy. Bellamy setting up the offense for Gate City. Gets it back to Hensley. Hensley being bumped by number 10, Jones, and Jones is caught with a pushing foul. So Gate City now will have the ball out of bounds on the far side. Personal foul number 1 and team foul number 4 on Virginia High. Hensley will bring the basketball in for Gate City, brings it into Morris. Morris being hounded by Johnson. Gate City setting up their offense. Pass comes to Bellamy. Bellamy lobs for Morris. Morris layup is good.
Morris just got away from Johnson. Johnson fell asleep, and you cannot do that when Kevin Morris is the player you're guarding. 16-8 to score. A minute 36 left to play in the first quarter. They work it up. Freeman has the ball. Gives to Lucky Daggs. He's double teamed over to Scott Jones. Gate City now coming out and playing a 2-3 zone. And I believe a traveling violation is going to be called. Yes, it is. Number 20, Lorenzo Johnson on the inside.
Jason Hensley will trigger the basketball into Morris. Virginia High will go to a man-to-man pressure just to try to slow the Devils down a little bit. Morris breaks the timeline rather easily. Working right to the left side to Bellamy. Bellamy drives, pulls up for the jump shot. No good. Rebound is loose. And I think they're going to call a foul on Shelton over the back. And if that's a foul, why aren't some of those being called down here on the other end?
Chris Shelton picking up number 2. And Dave Mason looks over his bench. Ferguson quickly gets back up. He'll come in to replace Shelton. As the Devils definitely need Shelton in there down the stretch in this battle as they're down by 8 points, 16-8. We're at the 111 mark, left to play in the first quarter. Virginia High will bring it up. They're shooting on the goal to the right of us. For Gate City on the one to the left of us. They bring it up to Daggs. He's double teamed. Jones has it. Morris comes out to greet him. Kenny Smith in the corner with the ball. Back out front to Jones. Nearly stolen by Ferguson. To Smith. His shot over Hensley is good.
Basketball comes in to Ferguson. Devils again down by 10 with 49 seconds remaining first quarter. Morris working against Johnson. Drives to the paint. Pulls up for the jump shot. Short. Rebounded by Bellamy. Bellamy puts it back up and in for 2.
Gate City breaks the double-figure mark. Down by 8. 18-10. We're under 30 seconds to play as Jones calls out a play. He's going to move up court. Ferguson comes out to meet him as Gate City putting the pressure on again. Jones breaks past Morris, looking for some help to Freeman. He is tied up in the middle, and on the alternating possession, it will go to, Virginia High underneath the goal. Inbounding for the Bearcats will be Lorenzo Johnson, number 20. Referee talking to some of the players about something, and we're set as Johnson looking for help. Gets it out to Jones, to Daggs. Back to Jones. He's way outside the 3 line. Virginia High going to play for one shot. 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10. It ticks down. Daggs at the free throw line. Pass over to Johnson. He's going to drive. Shot up from 14 is no good. There is Bellamy with the rebound. 2 seconds left. Ferguson heave-hoes it after the clock sounds and off the front of the rim. Would not have counted. So at the end of one period of play, Virginia High has roared out to an 8-point lead
for the Blue Devils. And we're just about set. Hensley brings it into Bellamy. Bellamy gives back to Pendleton. Pendleton will give it to Jason Hensley, who runs the show for Gate City. Hensley passes to Bellamy, stripped out of his hands by number 22 of Virginia High. That was Daggs, so it will be Gate City basketball. Hensley will trigger the basketball in, brings it into Rusty Pendleton. Pendleton gives back to Hensley as Virginia High looks like they're going to play a box and one. Shelton with the basketball for the Devils. Turnaround jump shot is good for the Animal.
And that's what Gate City needs. They need some inside play to counter Lorenzo Johnson and company. Score 18-12. As we just started the second period, Scott Jones crosses half court. Gate City now in a box and one.
2-3 zone.
2-3 zone, excuse me, as Pendleton comes out to greet Freeman. They have Lucky Daggs at the top of the circle. Johnson now. He's in the three-point land. Pull up, no. Going to pass it over to Jones. Back to Johnson. They find Daggs just inside the three-point line. He lets it fly, won't go. Rebound comes down to Shelton.
Shelton gives to Bellamy. Bellamy will wait up for Hensley. Gives it off to Hensley. The Devils can pull within four as they make a shot here. Hensley working it across the timeline. Needs some help. Finally dribbles back to the middle. Fakes, and he is fouled by number 10, Jones of Virginia High. Personal foul number 2 on Jones.
Making an observation here, it appears to me Virginia High is very tired this early in the game. Unusual, showing, and you have to wonder, what can they bring in off the bench? So far, Daggs is the only one we've seen. Virginia High with the noted very weakness in the bench, and that could play a factor here going into the halftime period.
Hensley at the line, shoots. First shot is good for Hensley. This KC crowd, PJ, is just waiting to erupt. They're waiting for the Devils to get on track. And when you can get your crowd behind you, then you can usually really pick up the momentum. Hensley's second shot is up and in and out. Bellamy is going to be charged with a foul. Oh, my.
Yeah, that foul was on Kenny Smith. Only the third team foul for Gate City. Or they fouled Kenny Smith, excuse me. Tony Bellamy picking up personal foul number 1. Gate City in the bonus, and now they say Virginia High in the bonus. So the Bearcats come out with Jones, the point guard. He comes to the top of the circle, takes the screen, puts the open jumper up. It won't go. Bellamy collects the bound.
Virginia High looks like they are tight now, PJ, as Hensley across the timeline, waiting for a breaking Morris. Finds him. Morris outside the three-point line, brings it in, shoots. Bang!
Just a matter of time. You can't untrack the moves forever. And he's going to get it to this point, whether you like it or not. Gate City now down only by 3, 18-15. Now Lorenzo Johnson, unusual move. He's going to bring the ball up court and gives back to Jones. Jones calls out the play. Johnson swings on the baseline. Gate City still playing 2-3 zone. Over to Daggs. They tried to pass it inside to Smith. Oh, my. Off of the hands of a Gate City player, they call it. Looked to be off the hands of Smith. Like the referee rules otherwise. Back into the game now. Number 50, Jason Mumpower, who went out early with 2 fouls. As Lucky Daggs sits down, it will be V-high ball underneath the goal. They pass it into Mumpower. Jones has it to Johnson. Going to drive, put the shot up over Shelton. It won't go. Johnson with the rebound. Shot is again no good. Rebound tipped out to Hensley.
Hensley finds Morris. Beautiful pass to Morris. Morris fakes, shoots. Count the bucket and a foul.
What a move by Kevin Moose Morris. He put two Bearcat defenders in the air and hit the shot over both of them off the glass. And Gate City fans are giving him a well-deserved round of applause.
That's what the fans have been waiting for, as Morris can tie the game if he converts the foul shot. 5:51 remaining in the half. Gate City down by 1, 18-17. Morris at the line looking to convert the three-point play. The shot is up. Bottom.
18-18. We are tied. 5:49 left to play before the half. Virginia High coming down court with the ball. They are led by Scott Jones, number 10, the point guard. He calls out the play. Hensley and Morris are up front for the Devils, as Jones has it now, moving toward the right, looking for some help. Pass it back out to Lorenzo Johnson. Inside to Kenny Smith. Turnaround jumper stuffed by Shelton. Scramble for the ball. Comes up to Pendleton. Shelton collects the loose pass and gives it to Morris.
Morris for Gate City now working up court as the fans on their feet for Gate City. Morris working against number 20. Johnson shoots the basketball. In and out, rebounded by Pendleton. Pendleton lost control and gets it to Morris. Morris drives to the paint, fakes, shoots, blocked from behind by number 20 Johnson. Saved inbounds to number 10.
Scott Jones got a 2-on-1 break going all the way. Shot is good, and they call a foul on Rusty Pendleton. And the fans from Gate City are outraged. Pendleton just shakes his head as Jones hits the two. Looked like a clear block for Pendleton. First foul on Pendleton. And Jones will go to the line to shoot for one more.
Seesaw battle here at Virginia High. Folks, if you're not here, you should have been here. This is exciting basketball. Jones looking to convert to three. And a late whistle there as they're calling Shelton with the traveling violation after he had passed it to Bellamy.
Shelton was knocked down. And the Gate City fans are on their feet. I've never seen anything like it. They are upset as they pass it into Mumpower. They work it around to Jones. Jones going to take the shot from the foul line. It won't go. Bellamy gets the rebound clean.
Bellamy gives off to Morris. Gate City with a 2-on-3 break. Morris is fouled by Jones of Virginia High, personal number 3. And Jones is a very important key to Virginia High's success.
He is perhaps their best point guard as the horn gets ready to sound. Number 34, Lee, will check into the ball game. And Jones will sit down. This could be a very critical blow to Virginia High's chances.
Kevin Morris with 7 points here in the game, looking for number 8 on the 1+1. More importantly, to bring the Devils back within one and possibly tie the score. Morris, Eisenmark shoots. Good. So Kevin brings the Gate City within one. 20-19, 4:43 remaining first half. This has been a barn burner, PJ.
Kevin Moose Morris has really exploded here late first quarter, early second quarter. They couldn't keep him on hold forever, and I think they're going to have to pull Johnson off of him because they're getting burned elsewhere.
Morris, Eisenmark shoots, and missed. Pendleton had the rebound. Knocked loose by Virginia High. Pendleton runs it down to Morris. Morris fakes, drives to the paint, fakes, shoots, no shot, traveling, called on Morris.
Oh my, Morris looked to be hammered a couple of times. And it will be V-High ball. They have a slim 1-point lead, 20-19, 4:35 left to play before the half. This is a very vocal contest between both crowds.
And Ballard Lee wants the timeout, PJ. He don't like what he's seeing right now.
I don't think he does. Dave Mason comes out on the court talking to the referees right now as he's questioning some of the calls.
I think what he's just trying to do is say, listen, if you're going to call it this way, why don't call it the same way on the other end of the court? Dave doing a good job. He's not losing his temper or anything, just having a nice conference with the officials. You can do that during a timeout.
That's what timeouts are for.
Anyway, Gate City and Virginia High, my goodness, Highland District basketball at its best. Tonight's game could be a determining factor in the champion of the Highland District. If Gate City wins this game, it's all theirs, undisputed, because they will have defeated every team at least twice. They will have Abingdon left, but Abingdon has 3 or more losses in the district, so the Falcons are out of the race. Could cause some problems for Gate City, though.
Looking at Virginia High scoring, they have been led by Lorenzo Johnson with 8, but those were 8 early points. We have heard nothing out of Johnson here, probably in most of the second quarter.
Virginia High looks winded, PJ. We said that numerous times, but they do. They look wore out.
And it looks like they're getting worse as it goes on. As number 34, Lee, is the point guard now. Gives it to Johnson. They pass it inside to Smith. His shot, good, over 3 Devils.
Pendleton brings it into Bellamy. Bellamy up to Jason Hensley. Hensley is going to pull up from 3. Bang! Jason Hensley not to score at 22.
You cannot leave any one player in this Devil team open or you are going to get burnt. And I think Virginia High is finding that out. Lee now passes to Johnson. He's at the 3-point line. He passes back to Lee. Back to Johnson. Inside to Mumpower. Shot over Shelton. May have been blocked by Shelton. Pendleton with the rebound.
Pendleton gives off to Hensley. Gate City can take their first lead if they make a bucket here. Hensley gives to Pendleton. Pendleton working against number 30. Puts the shot up and in.
Gate City with a 24-22 lead. 3:35 left to play before the half. Both teams are in the bonus as Virginia High's lead works it across half court. Gate City in a 2-3 zone. They work it over to Freeman. Freeman going to pull up in the lane. Shot over Shelton is good.
Good move there by Freeman as he had to get it over Gate City's big man. Hensley gives to Morris. Morris being shadowed by Lee of Virginia High. Morris, he's got to watch out for the 5-second count. Gives to Bellamy from 3. Bang for Tony Bellamy.
What a show by this Gate City team. And notice I emphasize the word team. This has been a team contest. Everybody's getting to the act, and that's just what it takes. It's going to take this entire team to win it. Lee now looks back to Ballard Lee on the bench, sets up the team's offense. They work it back to Johnson. Johnson at the 3-point line. Kicks it back to Lee. He's at the top of the circle to Johnson. He shoots it from 3. His shot is also good. Virginia High ties it up.
So we're trading buckets here at Virginia High. Hensley working it across the timeline for the Devils. Gives off to Morris. Morris being guarded closely every time he touches the basketball. Morris drives to the foul line. Dishes into Bellamy. Bellamy lost it. Fakes. Puts it up. It will go in.
Back and forth we go. 29-27 the score. 2:14 left to play before the half. Virginia High crosses the half-court line, and it's getting physical down underneath. Back and forth they pass between Lee and Johnson. Johnson now cuts across the court, and Lee comes down. They get to Freeman from just inside the 3-point line. He misses. There for the rebound is Bellamy.
Bellamy gives off to Morris. Gate City can increase their lead with a bucket here. I tell you what, P.J. Pendleton has been working extremely hard for Gate City on the defensive boards. Hensley outside the 3, guarded by Lee. He's going to bring it out. Drives the lane. Beautiful job by Hensley. Up and in for 2.
Virginia High looks like they're tired as they're just sinking back into the zone and letting people just drive by them. Score is now 31-27. They call it the play. Gate City stays in the 2-3 zone. Virginia High trying to put players on the baseline to cut across. Not much motion as Gate City's cracking it down in the middle. Lorenzo Johnson puts the shot up from 14. It is good for Johnson.
Gate City is just tempting the Virginia High Bearcats to shoot it from out there, and if they make it, fine. But the Devils up by 2 now, 31-29. It's Morris with the basketball at the top of the key, needing some help. He's going to drive back to the foul line, fakes, shoots. Good for Kevin Morris.
What a move by Kevin Morris. He just froze Lorenzo Johnson. Two shining stars in Southwest Virginia are clashing between Morris and Johnson. Gate City now leading 33-29. 45 seconds left to play before the half. Johnson back to Lee. Virginia High looks like they're going to try to get a good shot if it's open instead of waiting for one. Lorenzo Johnson at the top of the circle. Over to Freeman. Back to Johnson. Back to Lee on the wing. They pass into Kenny Smith. He's double-teamed as they work it back to Lorenzo Johnson. Thought about the 3. Not going to take it. Freeman from a long range. No good. Chris Shelton with the rebound.
Bellamy gives off to Morris, 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Morris with 12 left on the clock. Hensley setting up the offense for Gate City. 10 seconds. Hensley gives back to Morris. Morris is going to pull up for a long-range 3. Bang! Moves Morris.
What a shot. That had to be from 25 feet as the half expires. Gate City up 30. So as the half begins, Virginia High inbounds to Scott Jones. Jones and his B-High team will shoot to the goal to the left of us, and Gate City the one to the right of us. They get it to Jones. He's at the top of the key to Johnson. Johnson inside to Mumpower. Shot over Shelton. Lays it in good.
Bellamy turns the basketball into Hensley of Gate City. Virginia High back within 5, 36-31. Hensley staying the O for Gate City. Running the play for Morris. Morris lobs in for Shelton. Shelton strong move, shoots. Good for Chris Shelton.
I don't think Virginia High has the size nor the durability to stop Shelton. As they look tired to me out there on the court, even after the halftime break. Score now 38-31, the biggest advantage for Gate City. They're up by 7. Jones passes the ball. Passes inside to Mumpower, loses it. They get it to Hensley.
Hensley with Morris on his left and Pendleton on his right. Pulls up for the jump shot. Too hard, rebounded by Virginia High, saved in, out of bounds to Gate City, the official says. So the Blue Devils will have the ball underneath their own bucket, up by 7. Morris will lob in for Gate City. Morris brings it into Bellamy. Bellamy out to Hensley. Hensley outside the 3-point line, shoots short. Ball is loose, right out of bounds to Virginia High.
Good hustle by Hensley, though, who came flying across the court and nearly saved it. But V-High inbounds it. Johnson into Jones as he comes up slowly. Gate City with no pressure. The Devils come out now. They're playing a box and one. And they pass it over to Johnson. He's at the 3 line in the corner. Back to Scott Jones on top. Hensley comes out to meet him. Now it's Morris on Johnson. Johnson dishes inside for Smith. Smith saves it. And they're going to say, I believe he's 3 seconds on Smith. Stayed in there and set up camp.
PJ, I think that Virginia High is not physically drained. I think they're mentally and emotionally drained out there. Morris will bring the basketball up court for the Devils as Virginia High is going to a man-to-man defense, it looks like. Morris passes down for Hensley. Hensley setting up his offense. We have a blocking foul called on Chris Shelton, I believe. That will be personal number 3 as Shelton charged with a moving screen.
And now Shelton becomes the second player in the game to pick up 3. So 2 key players for both sides with 3 fouls. Scott Jones for V-High and Shelton, as we just said, for Gate City. The Bearcats will inbound up from the far side of the court to Jones. Jones brings it up. 6:25 left to play in the 3rd period. We're here early in the 2nd half. Gate City with 1 team foul. Virginia High yet to foul here in the 2nd half. They get it to Johnson. Inside to Mumpower. Shot over Shelton. Rolls around. Tipped around, and Bellamy comes up with the rebound.
Bellamy gives off to Morris. Gate City coming the other way. Morris across the timeline, guarded by Lorenzo Johnson. Morris uses the screen from Shelton, pulls up for the jumper. It will be no good. The ball is tipped by Hensley, picked up by Smith.
And he's got Lorenzo Johnson open, and he's going to get the easy dunk, and he hits that. Gate City conceded it to him, but still, Gate City leading 38-33.
What good is the dunk if you don't have no other scoring, PJ? Hensley works it across the timeline for Gate City. Guarded by Jones, passes for Morris. Morris from 3. Short, picked up by Jones.
Jones comes out 3-on-2 break. Has Lee and Johnson going to go all the way. Lays it up and good for Jones. V-High on the run.
Morris brings it into Hensley. Gate City just needs to settle down. They are up by 3, 38-35. Hensley working against Johnson. Brings it across the timeline. Passes for Bellamy. Bellamy passes back to Hensley as Hensley directing the offense. Hensley drives to the paint. Shoots. Short. Rebound comes down to Shelton. Shelton for Gate City. Passes through Pendleton. Pendleton drives. Shoots. It will not go. Rebounded by Mumpower as Gate City is very cold here to start the 2nd half.
Jones brings his team up. Passes over to Johnson, who's open, but he won't shoot it. Instead, he'll pull it out as Morris came to front him. They get it to Jones up top. Freeman is open from 3. He's deadly from out there. Almost an overthrown pass to Jones. Jones drives the lane. Shot over Shelton. Rolls good for Scott Jones.
Basketball comes into Morris. Gate City up by 1, 38-37. Gate City going to be very patient here. Don't get too worried, too fast. Bellamy from 3. Long. Bellamy falls, gets his own rebound, takes it in the paint, shoots. Good for Tony Bellamy.
It is still very physical. I'm surprised as teams are just banging around. And Jones inbounded to Johnson. Both players stopped for a minute to catch their breath. They're very tired. Jones coming across half court, calls out the play. Gate City up 40-37. We're at the 4-minute mark. That's the play here in the 3rd period. Jones thought about the 3, passed over to Freeman. From just inside the 3-point line, misses, gets his own rebound. Shot up over Shelton is no good off the glass. Freeman with the rebound again, still no good. Shelton swipes the rebound. And a tie ball going to be called as Freeman came charging in. It'll still be Gate City possession on the alternating arrow.
Lucky Dags will check into the contest now to replace Freeman, I believe. Yes, indeed, that's who it is.
Almost a technical foul called as Virginia High had 6 players on the floor.
And Virginia High going to the press. The basketball comes into Morris over to Hensley. Devils up by 3, 40-37. Hensley working against Jones. Looking for Pendleton. Finds Pendleton. Pendleton looking for Morris on the break. Finds Shelton on the middle. Shelton back to Pendleton. Pendleton gives to Morris on the right wing. Morris pulls up for the jump shot. Bang! Moose Morris.
He just caught Lorenzo Johnson sleeping. I don't know what Johnson was thinking. He just let Morris get wide open as the Devils open it up by 5. 3:22 left to play. Jones comes across half court, passes to his right to Dags. Back to Jones. Gate City in his own. Mumpower turnaround jumper in the lane. Good.
Mumpower's just like an automatic from that spot on the court. Morris for Gate City will work the basketball up court, signaling out the offense. Morris working against Johnson. Passes for Bellamy. Bellamy being guarded by Daggs. Bellamy drives, shoots, and the shot will not go, but Daggs committed to the personal, so Tony Bellamy will go to the line looking to increase the lead to 4 and possibly 5.
First foul on Lucky Daggs.
I'll tell you what, PJ, if that bucket had win, then that would have really ignited this club with the three-point play.
Oh my, they're going to say it was a non-shooting foul, saying they fouled Bellamy before the shot.
My goodness. So, Gate-City will have the ball underneath their own bucket. Basketball comes in for Bellamy. Bellamy gives it back to Morris. Morris working against number 22, Daggs. Morris on the screen by Shelton, puts up the jumper, in and out. Rusty Pelton runs the loop, rebound down. Puts the jump shot up short. Morris had his hands on the ball, picked up by Virginia High.
Jones coming out, he's got Johnson open on the wing, gonna take it all the way. Shot blocked by Shelton, but they're gonna call a foul on someone. Looked like the shot was blocked clean. And oh my, the Virginia High players stormed onto the court, and the assistant coaches came out to push them back on. The entire bench of Virginia High emptied onto the court.
Calling that on Rusty Pendleton, PJ.
Good move by the assistant coach for Virginia High as he quickly pushed 4 Bearcats back onto the bench.
Players must have thought there was going to be a fight. Rusty Pendleton just said, I'm not going to let you have this easy too, Mr. Johnson, and committed a good foul. That was a good foul, PJ.
And that's still only 2 on Rusty. Excellent mental move by Rusty Pendleton. As Johnson hits the first one. And Johnson will have one more. Shot is up by Johnson, and again good.
As Virginia High moves within one, 42-41. Hensley brings the basketball into Morris. And Virginia High decides to draw back this time and let the Devils bring the ball up court. Daggs will meet Morris at the high court line, gives to Hensley. Hensley guarded by Jones. Jones passes for Morris. Morris finds Shelton on the cut. Shelton drives, shoots. Bucket is no good, and the Gate-City crowd calls for a foul.
They get it up to Scott Jones. He's got someone on his wing. Gonna dish it out to him. That's Lucky Daggs. Shot over Shelton is no good. Tony Bellamy with the rebound.
Bellamy gives to Morris. Morris finds Hensley. Beautiful bounce pass. Hensley fakes, shoots, counts the bucket, and the foul. Jason Hensley put a move on. Got number 10, Jones, up in the air. Personal foul number 4 on Jones.
And just like that, Lee will come off the bench for V-High. Jones will sit down.
Jason Hensley has got to be one of the most colorful players that you'll ever see. He has got some of the most fantastic moves I have seen any high school player have.
If you're a college recruiter and you want an unselfish player to lead your team, I think you found him in Jason Hensley.
And Hensley converts the three-point play.
So V-High suddenly finds itself down by 4, 45-41. We're at the 2-minute mark left to play in the third period. 2 fouls on both teams. They get it out to Daggs. Johnson in the lane. Shot up over Morris is good.
Good shot there by Johnson. As Hensley for Gate-City with the basketball now, as Lee will pick him up. The Devils up by 2, 45-43. 1:43 remaining in the third quarter. Morris with the basketball for Gate-City working against Daggs. Moves to the paint, shoots a one-hand jump shot too hard. Rebound picked up by Johnson, out of bounds to Gate-City.
Johnson just thought about the dunk before he had the ball. Lost it out of bounds. Devils with a slim 2-point lead.
Hensley brings it in to Shelton. Shelton's turnaround jumper is blocked by Johnson. Now a foul on Lorenzo Johnson of Virginia High. Personal foul number 1. As Shelton will go to the line looking to increase the lead to 3 if he makes this shot. Personal foul number 2 on Johnson, excuse me. Shelton with 4 points on the night, looking for point number 5. Eisenmark shoots. It's good. Shelton now can get the Devils a 4-point lead if he makes this second shot. The big man doing a good job on the inside tonight. Shelton's shot is up. It will not go. Rebounded by Mumpower.
And quickly Lee comes out. He's got a 3-on-2 break. Dishes it over to Johnson. Johnson gets Shelton up in the air. Puts the easy layup for 2.
Lead is 1 for Gate-City as Morris of Gate-City will bring it across the timeline. 1:18 remaining third quarter. Hensley for Gate-City working the basketball to Bellamy. Bellamy lobs for Shelton. Shelton in the paint, turnaround jump shot over 3. Will not fall. Pelton on the fall, up and in.
That's where the triple teaming hurts Virginia High. They leave someone open, and this time it was Rusty Pendleton. Lee will bring it down across the half court for V High. They're down by 3, under a minute, 55 seconds to be exact, left to play. Johnson's at the 3 line as they work it around to Lucky Daggs. Back to Lee, over to Johnson. Thought about the 3, but Morris came out to front him. They work it back to Daggs from just inside the 3-point line. It's good.
The lead again is 1 for Gate City as Morris takes the inbound pass. 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Morris will work against Daggs. Double team, passes to Bellamy. Bellamy from 3. This one is short. Bellamy follows the shot. Gets a rebound, fake, shoot. And he will draw the foul from number 20, Johnson. Personal foul number 3 on Johnson.
What a piece of hustle by Tony Bellamy as number 24 now checks in. Scott Foote for Virginia High. And Johnson goes out. So with 25 seconds left in the third period, I can't say I blame Ballard Lee of Virginia High taking Johnson out. No sense getting a silly foul with this short of time left in the third period.
Bellamy looking for point number 10, shoots. It will roll in good. Bellamy now can give Gate City a 3-point lead if he converts this second foul shot. Bellamy, Eisenmark, shoots. Good for Tony Bellamy.
And again, this game seesaws back and forth. 50-47, Gate City leading. Virginia High with 14 fouls, Gate City with only 2. They pass it over to Daggs on the wing, back to Lee out front. And the pass intended for Daggs, tipped out of bounds by Hensley. Daggs will inbound to Lee, back to Daggs. Daggs thought about the 3-pointer, instead passes to Lee. Gets by Morris. Over to Lee, back to Daggs. He's at the top, gonna drive. Shot up over 2 Devils. Is no good, but a foul from behind going to be called on Jason Hensley, number 32 of Gate City. Only his first foul. Will be team foul number 3. But it will send Lucky Daggs to the line to shoot 2 shots with 2 seconds left to play on the clock. Daggs with 2 points on the night, both of them coming here in the second half. His first shot is up and nothing but net for Daggs. He'll have one more. As the second shot is up and also good.
The lead is 1 as the ball comes in. 1 second remaining.
Stay on the bench as Lee now has the ball inbounded to him. Moves to his right. Motions for someone. Excuse me, Johnson has checked back in. They get it over to Lucky Daggs, out to Lorenzo Johnson. Lee is open from the corner, but they pass it back to Johnson. Gate City in a 2-3 zone, matching up excellently. Pass it inside to Mumpower. He's triple team. Shot over Shelton is good.
Mumpower deserved every point he got on that one because that was a tough shot. Hensley for Gate City now as the Devils are down by 1, 51-50. Hensley passes for Morris. Morris fakes, shoots. No good. Rebounding comes down to Pendleton. Pendleton gives to Morris. Morris shaking it and baking. Drives to the paint. Rolling hook shot. In and out. Tough break for Morris.
Lorenzo Johnson swipes the rebound. And Virginia High now can expand their lead. They are leading 51-50. 7-minute mark. And left in the ball game. Lee moves to his left, which is our near side of the court. To Daggs. Back to Lee. He is open. But he's looking to pass off to someone. He gets it to Lorenzo Johnson at the top of the key. Daggs from 3. Shot rolls out. Rebound by Tony Bellamy.
Bellamy gives out to Kevin Morris. Morris will work it across the timeline, slow it up for Gate City. Sees an opening, and he is fouled by number 22, Daggs of Virginia High. Lucky Daggs' 3rd personal. And Gate City will have the ball. No, it'll be 1-1 as Morris will go to the line. And Kevin can not the score at 51 if he converts his first foul shot here. We're with 6:45 in the game. Gate City down by 1, 51-50. Morris. Eisenmark shoots. It's good. Gate City now tied 51-all with Virginia High. Morris at the line for a second attempt can give Gate City the 1-point lead again if he converts here. Eisenmark shoots. Also good.
And Gate City with a 1-point lead. Now as Gate City is in the bonus also. Gate City puts the trap on up court on Lee. Double team by Morris and Bellamy. Up to Daggs. Daggs crosses half court. Mumpower's open. Shot over Shelton is good.
Mumpower is a tough player, let me tell you, folks. If you've not seen him play, he's a very good ball player. Morris will bring it up court. The Devils down by 1 again, 53-52. Morris working against Daggs. Morris drives to the paint, shoots. It will roll in good for Kevin Morris.
When you're a great player, you get those bounces. As Morris proves, the Gate City back in the lead. The press up court. Hensley, Morris, and Bellamy up court putting pressure. Now those double team on Lee. They get it and tip it away. Mumpower has it. Shot over Shelton is rolls out. Rebound. Daggs gets it in, but he throws it to Shelton.
Morris with a basketball stolen away by Daggs.
Daggs looking some help. Gonna take it all the way himself. This is to Johnson, and it goes off of Daggs, who saves it into Johnson. Lucky break for V-High as they could again take the lead. Lee settles his team down. Gate City settles back into the 2-3 zone. They pass it, and it goes off the hands of Lucky Daggs out of bounds.
Lorenzo Johnson really giving his teammate a piece of his mind there, as Morris will work it up court for the Blue Devils. Morris staying up the O. Drives to the paint against Johnson. Takes it up. Shoots. No good. The rebound is jump ball, and Chris Shelton and Mumpower having words. Good job there by Rusty Pendleton as he pushes Shelton back.
Tempers do not need to flare in a game this close. I don't think either team can afford a technical foul. And Kevin Morris goes over and says to the referee, he says, don't worry about it. Says, we're keeping cool.
On the alternate possession, Gate City will have the basketball. As Morris set to trigger the basketball in for Gate City. Morris into Hensley. Hensley to Bellamy. Bellamy to Morris. Morris knocked it out of bounds to Virginia High.
So Virginia High will inbound about half court. And a timeout going to be called as an assistant coach for V-High goes out and takes something off the floor.
He's device was flown through him from the Virginia High student body section.
Courteous move by him. Arthur Ferguson checks in, and Bellamy will sit down for Gate City.
Gate City trying to get a little more offense in there with Ferguson. Ferguson, a good three-point shooter.
Okay, the Bearcats inbound. They're down by 1. By 17, left to play in a ball game. And immediately, as Virginia High crosses half court, they take a timeout. Scott Jones, maybe he's getting a little tired on the inside. But that's the speculation as the game resumes. Jones back in, passes to Daggs on the wing. Back to Jones out front. Alley-oop into Johnson. Johnson immediately, triple team. Shot by Lorenzo, by Daggs, no good. Mumpower shot over Pendleton, no good. Shelton with the rebound.
Shelton gives it out to Hensley. Hensley with a 3. Bounce pass to Pendleton. Pendleton takes it up and in for 2.
Gate City up by 3 now, 56-53. Virginia High taking a long time to inbound as they now seem tired between Daggs and Johnson. Jones calls out play number 1. He goes to the free throw line, passes the Daggs on the left wing. Johnson.
Gate City now playing a box and 1 on Johnson, PJ.
They pass it to Daggs, or excuse me, Johnson. Johnson's going to drive the lane as he is fouled from behind by Morris before the shot. Morris charged with a reaching foul. That'll be 1 foul, first foul, 2 fouls on Morris, excuse me.
Will be Virginia High's ball on the side, PJ.
Not yet a 1-and-1 as the next foul will put Gate City over the limit. So Lorenzo Johnson, number 20, will inbound to number 10, Scott Jones. Gate City in a 2-3 zone now. Jones out the top of the circle. Looking for some help, going to drive to the right wing. Looking to dish it back to Daggs. Finds Daggs. Shot from the three-point land won't go. Jason Hensley with the rebound.
Hensley gives to Ferguson. Ferguson will give to Morris. Gate City up by 3. Can increase their lead here. Morris working against number 22, Daggs. Breaks across the timeline. Morris works around Daggs, uses the Pendleton screen by Pendleton, puts the shot up and in.
That was impressive because that was over Lorenzo Johnson. Good move by Morris, 5-point lead for Gate City. Clock winding down, 3:50 to play in this ball game for the Highlands District Championship. The fans are wild now. We're going down the stretch. Scott Jones drives, shot up from 12 is good for Scott Jones.
The lead is 3 for Gate City, 58-55. Hensley will work it up court for Gate City. Setting up the offense. Guarded closely by Jones. Passes for Ferguson. Ferguson back to Hensley. Hensley thought about the 3, gives to Morris. Morris pulls up for the jumper. Bottom for Kevin Morris.
2 more for Moose. And again, this game seesaws back and forth. Gate City 60, Virginia High 55. Both teams in the bonus. Scott Jones comes down, directing his team. Trying to take a screen, looking for someone to pass to. Gets to the diagonal lane. He loses it.
Ferguson comes up with it for Gate City. Gate City slowing it down as Ferguson hands off to Morris. Gate City up by 5, 60-55 with 2:50 left. Morris tries to paint, shoots. In and out, rebounded by Pilton. Pilton back up. No good shot on the fall, and he is hammered by Kenny Smith of Virginia High.
That'll be foul number 2 on Kenny Smith.
And the big man, Chris Shelton, will go to the line shooting the 1+1. Shelton, with 5 points on the evening, can give the Devils a 6-point lead if he makes this shot. Shelton takes the basketball, eyes the mark, shoots, good. Gate City now up by 6, 61-55.
Is this deja vu or what? It seems just like him back at Gate City. Down the stretch, the Bearcats broke down.
Shelton, eyeing the mark, shoots. No good. Pelton gets tipped, rebounded by Virginia High's Mumpower.
And Jason Mumpower comes down slowly, and Morris called for a reaching foul from behind. Dave Mason just shrugs his head, says, oh my. 3 fouls on Morris.
This game is not over, PJ. 2 3-pointers, and Virginia High right back into the contest. They are in the bonus now, and they will be shooting 1+1.
And at the line, it will be Scott Jones, number 10. Jones, who has come alive here in the second half with 6 points in the second half, 10 overall. He shoots the 1-1. Gate City trying to signal a timeout. And a lane violation called on a Virginia High player. Number 30, Kenny Smith, just stepped into the lane when Jones had the ball on the free throw line. Just an innocent mistake by Smith that cost Virginia High their 1-1 free throw situation. Now Gate City gets their timeout. What a mistake by Kenny Smith. That could prove crucial.
PJ, that was really, whenever the basketball goes into that player's hand at the line, you don't even want to move an inch because a lane violation is all you need at this stage in the game.
As the fans get into it.
Ferguson needs some help. Finally lobs in. That's a 5-second violation. The ball will go back to Virginia High as Ferguson could not get it in.
Very good defense by Virginia High. Okay, the Bearcats will take it out. Here's the situation. 2:38 left to play in the ball game. They are down by 5, 61-55. Scott Jones has the inbound to Mumpower. Shot over Shelton, good for Mumpower.